Hey everybody, welcome to the Players Take. This is Montrell. Uh, This is episode 258. I am doing a solo episode because looks like my buddy Justin is on vacation. I hope he's having a good vacation. So I don't know. I think this episode may be a little short. I don't like to be. I'm not long-winded as much as I want to be sometimes. So we'll try to get through here and everything of that nature. So we post at 6 a.m. Central Standard Time Fridays on Apple Podcasts, Google, Stitcher, Spotify, or your favorite podcast app of choice. You can send questions to our Twitter or our email at theplayerstake at gmail dot or theplayerstake01 at gmail.com. You can hit me up at Twitter, which is I trap for the Hokage, which is the number 4, not the word. Or you can hit Justin up at thundernut01 on twitter.com. So we're going to get right into it. The games I've been playing. I haven't really been playing too much because, like I said, I've been going to class and everything of that nature, and class and the work have been together beating my ass, like, especially class, man. It's not necessarily hard; just a lot of stuff that you have to remember and everything of that nature. And I'm not about to take my exam for like another 4 or 5 months, but I am taking classes towards that exam, and they have many exams within those. Excuse me. So I am at the midterm now. And then I got to do my CCNA two, and then finally my three, and then I believe in July or August I can actually take my CCNA exam and get that or whatever. Because I already know everything. It's just like the terminology I have to remember, and like they ask you stuff like, "Ooh, which organization made fucking IP addressing and everything." You gotta remember these organizations. It's like I think it's like 9 organizations I gotta remember, and all their different functionalities and how they contribute to the fucking internet. It's crazy. Like, um, and you're not going to go to a job interview and they be like, well, you got the credentials, you got 10 years of experience under your belt, but do you know what organization created OSHI or OSI, the OSI model? And you're like, oh shit, no. Like, I don't think anybody's going to ask you that. But you got to do it for the exam to get the exam and all that shit like that. What's crazy is you got to take this exam like almost every 3 years. So I'm about to remember the shit 3 years from now as well. But by then, I'm probably going to go for my CCNP, which should be a little bit easier, but a little bit harder as well because I got to remember the little knickknacks and all the little fucking terminology and shit like that. So I'm probably just gonna do some fucking flashcards or something and then try to get that shit popping. But until then, like that's what I'm doing. That's why I haven't really been playing too many video games, but I have been playing one video game. I downloaded the Final Fantasy VII Rebirth demo. I have not played it yet. I have no idea why I haven't played it yet. I'm waiting till the weekend, I think, so I can really dive into it and be uninterrupted, which would be tomorrow for me, and today for you guys listening, because Friday usually is when my weekends start. And I usually don't do a lot of studying on Friday. I try to reserve all my studying for like Saturday or whatever. I might take a break, play a game or two, and then go back to studying or whatever. But yeah, I've been playing Grand Blue Fantasy Relink. I actually like this game. It's a weird game. I seen people compare it to Monster Hunter. I don't necessarily feel like it's a Monster Hunter game. What I can compare it to is a fully fledged console game, mobile game that's on console. And what I mean by that is like it doesn't have none of the microtransactions or anything like that. But you do have the main story quest, which is just decent. It's like, it's standard. It's almost like Tales-ish kind of storytelling. And then you can go to the quest counter and then you can do these little side quests and stuff like that. And to me, that's like the mobile aspect of it or whatever, that you can do these little side quests that have really nothing to do with the story. It's like a horde mode. You can fight a boss or whatever the case may be. And then you get all these tons of items and stuff like that. To upgrade your weapons and everything, and you have like 15 different characters you can buy. They give you 4 characters off, 5 characters, six. They give you 6 characters um to start off with, and then you can actually go to your shop and you can buy more characters with this thing called a card. I haven't figured out how to unlock the card yet to get the character cards yet. And you can, when I say purchase, I don't mean like with actual money, with in-game money and crafting and stuff like that. um So I haven't figured out how to get one card. They give you one card, and I bought this character named Zeta. I bought her. She seems pretty cool. I think the combat is really fucking cool. As far as the combat, it is like when you're on like a level or whatever, and I won't call it open world because it's not really open world, but the level is open, right? So you're traveling through the level, and when you go into combat, you don't go into a different combat arena like Tails is. So when I was saying with Tails, this is like what Tails wanted to be, where they didn't want to have a combat arena that you go into when you engage. This game doesn't have that, but the game is like Tails as far as the combat wise, to me. It's a little bit things they can improve on, but I actually like their combat system stuff like that. I think it's really cool and everything of that nature. It's way more fluid than Tales of Arise, and everything. You have a lot more combat options, I would say, in Tales of Arise compared to this game because this is the game it's one for one competing with Tales in my opinion. Like they're coming for Bandai or Namco Bandai's neck with this one. And I think the Tales of Arise team has, or the Tales team in general, has some heavy lifting to do with their next game. I think I have faith in them because I've heard that the Scarlet Nexus guy, the guy who did the battle director for Scarlet Nexus, is taking on this game or taking on the next Tales game. So I do have hope for it. What I don't have, I will say, Tales of Arise story is stronger than this story. Like off rip, this story is cohesive, and I get what the plot is going. It's standard like anime shit or whatever. Like you have, oh, you know, and on top of that, the way the game starts, these characters all know each other and they all were adventure with each other before this game starts. So they also have these side missions too, where um, you go to the quest booth and you do these side missions, but they're not necessarily missions. They're more like dialogues or bios, like the characters talking and giving you like background on themselves or whatever, and it kind of catches you up to speed to where you are right now and how you met the characters or whatever. Like your main character Grand, his that your main characters, you can name your character, but the character name is like Grand or the captain or whatever. And it shows how you met all your, he'll tell you how you met Lyra and all those other characters and everything like that. And then you can do like, the other characters missions when you unlock them and everything. You can do their side missions and listen to their bio, and it's like episodes or whatever. That's a good, yeah, it's episodes that you go through and you unlock them and you can listen to them. It's nothing but dialogue. You don't have to do anything or anything like that. It's like a static image in the background, and then it's the characters just talking, or it's the character themselves, that character, in their own voice doing the dialogue and kind of reading, what's going on screen. So yeah, it's kind of boring, but you do get stats for it, and you can unlock slots and stuff like that, sigil slots and everything. So, um, they try to make it worth your while. I still don't think it's worth your while. I'm not really invested in the characters per se like that. Um, but I am kind of like invested in the world, in the story. I like where I just like a story that I can turn my brain off and just play. That's what I need right now, and that's what this game's provided me. To be honest with you, and that's why I like it. So I'm not really too heavy. Maybe that's why I don't really want to dive into the Final Fantasy VII remake demo, even though I know it's a demo. It's still gonna be like story heavy, and I gotta pay attention to shit. And I'm just like, I don't feel like doing that shit right now until the actual game comes out, which is like 3 weeks from now. So that's what I'm doing, and that's why I like Grand Blue Fantasy right now. Like that's the only game I'm playing because I can just turn my brain off. I don't have to super focus like I do on Devil May Cry or anything like that. I can turn my brain off, do cool combos, and um, play a simple JRPG, and I like it. There's other host of JRPGs. I actually bought Persona 3, have not played it. I actually bought one of the, it's not the Secrets of Mana, but it's not Visions of Mana. I think it's Trials of Mana. One of those for the Switch. Have not played it. I got Yakuza 8. Have not played it. So yeah, I bought a whole bunch of JRPGs that I know I'm not going to play, but I'm kind of just stacking for the summertime, because I know probably going to be in the house because out here in Texas it gets fucking hot, so no one goes outside at all. So we go outside in the morning and then at night. and me and my wife are not night people anymore, so we mainly go out in the morning, and then during the day we're inside the house, like bar none, or we may do some yard work if it's not too hot. But yeah, so that's what I'm doing for my for games I'm playing. Like I would recommend Grand Fantasy. It's a really cool game, and you can play online or whatever. And I like this game too because you can play the same missions online or the side quest or whatever at the quest counter. You can play those online or with co-op people, like local co-op. I think you can do, and you can do like online co-op with a party. I believe you can actually do the online co-op. You can do the story with your party from what I was gathering with the co-op settings, which would be which I think is really fucking cool. That's like Tales, like old Tales. You should be able to do that as well. So I think this game's really trying to come for Tales, in my opinion, or maybe the people who used to work at Tales. Maybe some of them got let go and went over here because you can. It's giving Tales vibes. Like yeah, it's giving Tales vibes for real. Um, yeah, man. I don't know. I recommend it. It's a really cool game. Like I said, it's a really cool game to kind of shut your brain off and just let go. Like most JRPGs, it's nothing too heavy or anything of that nature. Yeah. So I did put some things in news. Kind of struggled with news this week. But there were some things that went under radar that I think is going on. Because we've been hearing about industry layoffs and all that stuff like that, and I kind of wanted to speak on that. I mean, I know we talked about it last week for a little bit, or week before last rather, for a little bit, but yeah, people are just freaking out about these layoffs, man, and I personally don't think um it's that big of a deal. I saw it on Twitter though, but that's Twitter because people freak out on everything on Twitter, so that's just Twitter. I don't think in real life, I don't think people are freaking out, but I did hear on a couple podcasts people are talking about it or whatever. And I really just think the industry is normalizing itself and trying to stabilize after the massive surge of hiring that we had in like 2022, 2023, and 2024. Um, but besides that, I don't think we had anything like super big, like I don't think it was crazy or anything of that nature. And uh I don't know, like I mean, y'all tell me what y'all think. Do y'all think like, these layoffs? I think the layoffs are just like unfortunately a byproduct of like all these games shutting down and everything. No one's really buying microtransactions anymore. People want solid games. I think that's starting to deliver. There is a story in here though. I think the microtransaction thing is taking off in other parts of the world. Oh, it already took off in other parts of the world, and we're actually starting to see the results of that. Actually, I'm gonna put that story first. Um, So I have an article here, and it shows that if I can pull my thing up here, uh, so I named it Middle Eastern gaming, because the Middle East is booming right now. Like they're the next market, in my opinion. Um, it says the ME MENA -3 gaming market is to reach 2 billion, a $2 billion cap uh, in 2023. So this was obviously published on today, but they said that it's projected to be to hit another 2.65 billion in 2027. So I mean, it's this market is definitely growing. I thought these numbers were interesting as well. 71%. So like the market consists of Egypt, Iraq, Jordan, Iran, Kuwait, uh, United Arab Emirates, and some other countries as well. And so what I thought this was pretty interesting. Saudi Arabia accounted for half the regional revenue, followed by the UAE, and Egypt, which is very interesting. Um, I mean, we already know like Saudi Arabia is fucking super rich, and I think that the UAE is super rich as well. I mean, like all those countries are like, despite what they show on TV, a lot of these countries are like the rich. If the rich are rich, like they're super rich. You know what I'm saying? And the poor, they're like super poor over there. Yeah, probably. I think it's the same way over here. To be honest with you, uh, And yeah, growth is driven by investments, high disposable income, and a young population. So they have a booming young population. And 68.4 million gamers in 2023, which is up from the previous year, is up 2.9% from the previous year. And it's expected to reach 79.6 million by 2027. Um, Now this is was really interesting. 71.5% of gamers participate in esports, and it's boosted by the government, which is crazy to me. I mean, which is actually, you know what? That's not crazy to me. It is crazy coming because we always hear like the perception of the Middle Eastern nations or whatever, or they're like super strict, and which they are. Don't get me wrong, but you would never think they would like boost gaming as one of those things. But it makes sense when you think about me and Justin covered for the last um year and a half, how Saudi Arabia just been buying up companies, man, buying up companies left and right, and they especially been buying up companies in Japan. A lot of people don't know that. A lot of people are focused on Tencent, including us, but we did cover a couple of a couple of Saudi Arabian families buying companies and trying to diversify their portfolio. And I think it's paying off. Um, Not only that, like they can kind of like, flood the market if they want to and tell people to buy this type of stuff. They kind of control the market if they wanted to. 80%. Now, this is another interesting fact that 80%, 87.2% of gamers use smartphones, and they're on those smartphones. They're playing their games 8.7 hours a week. So I think it's like another China situation to where like all the before China cracked down, they're all their gamers were like either PC gamers or mobile users. Um, and I mean, we already seen this in Korea, like how the mobile industry is booming over there. Japan, the mobile industry is booming over there. A lot of Eastern nations, the mobile industry and gaming industry is booming. Like that's why Genshin Impact makes so much fucking money because it's a mobile game as well as a console game. And I guarantee you, I'm willing to bet like 70 to 80% of their sales come from straight mobile, not console or PC. Um, and yeah, I didn't actually. Well, yeah, I did know this. It's a golden success to to localize to 420 million speaking people worldwide. So I mean, it's definitely a growing industry, and we have another. Took a sneak peek for next week, and we're going to be talking about another continent or region that's also booming for gaming, and it looks like gaming is trying to not leave America, but um, the three major markets, the America, or four actually, because we got to consider the South America now, like Brazil. They're no slouches anyway. You know, America, EU, Japan, and Brazil. Now other regions they have been gaming, but they haven't been prominent. But now, I'm suspecting with the story next week, we're gonna see that change as well. We're gonna see some numbers that kind of support and corroborate that it's not just us, gaming. And another interesting thing is, uh, they've been hosting the UAE has been hosting Dota 2 and League of Legends events. So, yeah, I feel bad for them because they don't know if they're unleashing by releasing Dota and League of Legends, letting those players play that. It's gonna thought it was toxic now. It's gonna be real toxic. uh, but yeah, man, I think that's really cool. It's always cool to see new players and more regions and everything like that. And I'm wondering how that's going to affect the market because this type of stuff can affect the market in different ways as far as creativity and things of that nature. We might get even more Middle Eastern characters and heroes and things of that nature, representation in video games. So I think that's really cool. I love seeing like I know it's the bad word, but I love seeing diversity in video games. Like I love seeing different iterations of characters. And it was one game, I can't remember the name of the game. Uh, it's the it's the fuck the battle royale fighting game. I think it's called Nikira or whatever. Nikira. That's Shadow. Yeah, uh, Naraka. One of those games. In this game, they have like different, deities and stuff like that of all different nationalities. I think that's pretty cool. And it's not corny or anything like that. And I mean, obviously, League of Legends does a really good job at doing that. Dota does a really good job at doing that as well. Overwatch is a little corny with theirs, but I mean, they do a good job at showing diversity and everything of that nature. So yeah, I don't know. It's gonna be really cool. All right, so this is the one everybody was talking about this week. Xbox going in a new direction or whatever, and we don't have much. So we did cover last week or 2 weeks ago, I believe. Let me check my thing real quick. I believe it was either 2 or 3 weeks ago. We covered that Xbox may be going third party. So it was a lot of fucking news that came out, a lot of rumors. That's why I'm not really reporting on it right now because there's still rumors at this point that fucking Starfield was going to be coming to PlayStation 5, and I mean, I think we already have confirmation that Hi-Fi Rush is coming to PlayStation 5. They want to get that on PlayStation 5, but it also extended off to like fucking Halo and everything of that nature. And people were saying like the new CEO of Xbox, she has to address everybody now and everything of that nature. Um, it's just crazy right now. It's crazy. Um, so the only thing that we have, like concrete stuff that we have, is from Phil Spencer. He says, "We're listening and we hear you. We are planning a business update event for next week, where we will look forward to sharing more details with you about our vision for the future of Xbox. Stay tuned." Uh, does that mean? Oh, and does that mean like Indiana Jones may come to PlayStation? Likely. I mean, they are releasing on PC or whatever, but I think there won't be day and date stuff. I think it will be like a 6 month thing, like PlayStation or Xbox, sorry, and PC get their games first, and then PlayStation will get it. And then you have stuff like Starfield, like I said, Hi-Fi Rush and Sea of Thieves may be coming as well. Like all this stuff is like rumored, and a lot of Xbox fanboys were fucking fuming. Um, I think it sucks that they do that, and the reason I think it sucks is not because I'm a fanboy or I'm like, oh, I pay for my plastic box. I have both. I have all three fucking consoles. I don't fucking care. I think it sucks because they bought all these really cool studios. Excuse me, and it seems like they're just not doing anything with it, and they just gave up. To be honest, the fight stopped at 2020 in 2013. That's when the fight stopped. PlayStation blew them out the water, and or actually they shot themselves in the foot, and then PlayStation followed up and was just like, we can share our games, which is funny because now everything has DRM. That was the biggest thing. Uh, they were the Xbox was the ones to kind of like push that forward, and now everything has DRM. I mean, we already knew Steam has DRM. Steam's have DRM since I think since the beginning of Steam. To be honest with you, I think certain games it wasn't required. You can still type in the CD key and put it on your Steam library. Um, but yeah, like DRM's been the thing for PC for a while. And I think the way Xbox handled that was really bad. Dynametric handled that very poorly. I just remember one of his questions that he were asked. It was like, well, what if I have my Xbox One on a ship or whatever, and I'm a Marine, and I want to, or not a Marine, I'm sorry, I'm in the Navy, and I want to play my Xbox One. And at the time, the way they were marketing it is you couldn't even play your games offline. Like it always had to do a system check, and if you were offline, you couldn't play the game or whatever. Um, Instead of doing a check one time, like how it does now, it checks one time, and then you can play the game offline, online, or whatever, unless you have another patch coming through. Um, it won't even detect the patch until you plug it up online or whatever. Um, and yeah, he said that for those people they can play our Xbox 360, and that was super bad. Like you're pretty much telling people not to buy it. Not to mention the TV sports meme. When they had that Xbox conference, and they were showing like they weren't showing games, but they were showing the features of the console, which I do get. And I think a lot of people misconstrued that conference, including myself. Those kind of conferences always show the features of the console, not the games. And that's what it was showing, and they didn't show enough games. But you gotta admit that people are coming there for the games. And you didn't show enough games. You showed the Call of Duty dog model, which still gets memed to this fucking day. Actually, it's actually insane how much shit is still memed 11 years later. Yeah, it's been 11 years, y'all, since that conference came out. Ain't that wild? Um, but yeah, 11 years later, the dog meme is still referenced. The TV sports thing is still referenced. The Call of Duty thing is still referenced. Like that, they're iconic for the wrong reasons, and it fucking sucks. Because they were doing so well in the 360 and the original OG Xbox era. Um, to come out in the OG Xbox era, with PS2 and still having like a foothold in the market and beating out the Nintendo GameCube at that time, that's crazy to me. Yeah, man, I don't know. I think what I think is going to happen is they are going to offer some exclusive games that were exclusive to PlayStation, but I don't think there's going to be an entire ecosystem in PlayStation. But let's be honest, Microsoft's $1 trillion company, and if they want to make Xbox go third party, they have the money to do that, and it won't hurt their bottom line at all. Like the only thing that will suck is like you don't have a console next generation. It would just be PlayStation and Nintendo, and that would kind of suck because there wouldn't be a lot of competition. Um, but I mean, I don't know what Xbox can do at this point to come back, to be honest with you. Like I'm really thinking about it. And even if they have the best, like the entire best first party lineup coming out like next year, 2025. You know, they revamped fucking Halo, they got Fable coming out, they got some kind of other fucking, shit coming out. Rare dropped some fucking crazy shit or something like that, or Ninja Theory dropped some crazy shit, besides Hellblade 2 or whatever. And it's just like the craziest shit. I still don't think it's enough. Like if those games are on PlayStation, then yeah, it's crazy. But like because it's Xbox and the stigma that Xbox has, they can never come back. I'm sorry, y'all. Like it's the bias of gaming, and I really wish people would admit there's a huge bias there because people. I feel like if God of War came out on Xbox, no, let me not say that because people are like, no, you're wrong. But I do feel like that. I feel like if God of War came out on Xbox, it would not be as popular as it is today, or whatever. That's how I personally feel. Um, but it's, not to say it's a bad game. It's a fucking phenomenal game. But I just feel like it still wouldn't be as popular, because PlayStation has more units or whatever the case may be, and that's the thing. Oh, I've been talking for 28 minutes. Wow, good for me. But yeah, I think this is gonna be really cool. We have to wait till next week. They said some kind of conference next week. They didn't give an exact date or anything like that. So just be on the lookout for that next week. So today is the 8th or the 9th when you listen to this. So it could be sometime on the 14th. I imagine they might do it on Valentine's Day. A lot of us gamers are lonely. They might do it on Valentine's Day, or they might do it on Tuesday, the day before Valentine's Day, which is 13th. Usually the middle of the week, they usually like put these conferences on or whatever the case may be, or not conferences, but business update event or whatever. So yeah, just be on the lookout for that. So the next story I have here is this one floated by. I haven't heard any news about this. So DJ dropped something in the chat because we have a players take chat, and he dropped something in the chat here. And I'm going to read this quote for you. So Bob Iger, who, if you don't know who Bob Iger is, believe he's still the head of Disney. I believe, yeah, he's still the CEO of Disney. So he said this when I saw Gen Z and Gen Alpha and Millennials, the amount of times they were spending in terms of total media screen time on video games, it was stunning, equal to what they spend time equal to what they spend on TV and movies. The conclusion I reach is we have to be there. So I saw this quote, and then today I found this. Disney makes the Disney makes a metaverse move with a 1.5 billion investment with Epic, who's the Fortnite maker. So they have invested in 1.5 billion dollars in Epic Games, because they're trying to make their own metaverse. So their metaverse is, they actually have a they actually dropped something on Twitter. I believe it's from the official Disney site. Yeah, I'm sorry, it's from the official Fortnite, and they dropped it. So they have a Marvel. It's like a concept or whatever, and it's theme worlds. It's theme parks. They have Marvel, Star Wars, Pixel, and Avatar, and yeah, it's kind of crazy. So what metaverse? I think we talked about this before, but Epic is trying to build their own metaverse, and obviously they can because they have their own ecosystem as well. Like they have the Roblox ecosystem, or the Roblox model rather, where they have you can make games inside of Fortnite, and you can even, I think you can sell those games and profit off them. I mean, obviously they take a cut of it, but you take a cut of it too, as well, within the Fortnite like engine and universe and app and everything of that nature. Like you don't sell separate games, y'all. But they're trying to create a Disney verse within Fortnite, and yeah, I think this is trying. They're trying to do the Facebook thing, but better. Like they're creating their own metaverse, pretty much. Um, and I mean, metaverse generally refers to a persistent online social space where users can interact through digital avatars. So, by this definition, WoW is a metaverse. By this definition, Final Fantasy 14 is a metaverse. Well, I guess it is because a lot of y'all roleplay on there and do crazy um cyber nude parties. But yeah, so like, yeah, I think this is crazy to me. Um, Obviously Disney hasn't been doing too well as far as movies. I mean, they're still making millions, but not as much as they used to. Um, and I think they're trying to move other ways. I think we're going to see this from a lot of Hollywood execs and other things. I think a lot of Hollywood is going to try to transition over to gaming, because the streaming platforms and everything. Like Hollywood itself is about to crash. It's about to be a crash over there, and they're going to try to come and suck all the money out of gaming again. We saw this research, we saw this surge happen before, and it's happening again. So I thought that was pretty interesting that I'm sorry, DJ put that quote in there, and then the day before they make this super big deal, a $1.5 billion investment in Fortnite, which is crazy to me. People, developers, maybe there's something I don't know. Maybe my tax bracket isn't high enough. Um, maybe I haven't traveled the world more, as much as these people because they're rich. And some of the top developers are rich too. Don't get it twisted, y'all. Like they make six, sometimes seven figures. Like it's not common. It's not uncommon for a developer to make six figures or high, five figures. So I'm assuming a lot of these people travel the world. Where I'm getting to is, I think they traveled the world so many times and they've seen so many different parts of the world, but now they're just like, we want to create our own world because this world is not enough. And it's like, okay, I guess, bro. Like, I guess I see where you're going. I don't know. When I saw the fucking Rocky Mountains and shit like that, and I went to, because I think that was the Rocky Mountains I saw. Um, Yeah, when I saw the Rocky Mountains and when I saw the fucking Gardens of the Gods and I saw Green Mountain and everything of that nature, um, me personally, if I was the Earth, I wouldn't tolerate this level of disrespect, because saying that you want to create a digital world because maybe because the real world is boring to you is really disrespectful to Earth, because there's a lot of shit you can see out there, man. So I really don't get this metaverse thing. I really don't understand it. I really don't see why people want to try to invest so much money into it. Like you can literally just, and on top of that, you can just make up shit. Like, what if you buy digital land, right? And you're like, oh, my digital land is worth $1.5 million. They can just make more. And like your digital land is not worth now nothing because they just made more digital land. Like they can just fabricate shit. It just doesn't make any sense. And it's also like that's just prone to hacking. Like what if you just live in there and then like you know some hacker comes in and just takes all your shit? Um, I don't know, man. That shit's kind of crazy to me. I don't think it's viable at all. I don't think it should be viable. Um, I don't like the idea of a quote unquote metaverse. Now, when I'm talking about metaverse, you guys know what I mean. Like the whole Facebook version of the metaverse. I don't think Epic Games is trying to create that. I think they're trying to go a little bit. They're trying to be a little bit more grounded, um, because they already created some kind of metaverse. They had like fucking digital concerts that popped off, and everything of that nature that people attended and people loved and people streamed and everything of that nature. Which I think this is where my age is showing. I think that shit's kind of it's cool, but like I don't know. Nothing beats going to a real concert. But I guess if you don't have the means to go to a real concert, going to this digital concert is just as cool. And you know what? Thinking from that perspective, I think that's really fucking cool. Like people can do that. They can kind of experience a sort of concert vibe without actually being at a concert. And then some people don't like to go to concerts at all because of the concert vibe. And they're now able to go to a concert, see their favorite artist and experience that. So yeah, I mean, it, this theme park is it Disney World, digital Disney World? Most likely. Will it compare to Disney World in real life? Most likely not. But I feel like they will try their best to give you that Disney esque feeling inside of these theme parks that they're going to try to create. Like I said, like the one on as you see on Twitter is like a concept. It's not real yet. They didn't make the worlds, but they are investing in it. And I'm interested in seeing what people are gonna do and everything like that. I think the Avatar thing is gonna be way better than what Facebook did. Because like if you look at the way Fortnite designs their characters and everything of that nature, especially a lot of the black characters, man, like they got the haircuts right. They got the Villago characters. They got those characters right as far as skin tones and hairstyles and textures of hair and everything like that. I actually am looking forward to seeing what kind of like avatars you can create in the near future in the future when they do have these their version of the metaverse. I think the Fortnite version or the Epic version, Epic Store, Epic Games version of metaverse will be way better than Facebook or Meta or whatever you want to call them. And yeah, uh, I mean, I'm not like head over heels for it, but I am interested. I'm gonna look and see, how it's going and things of that nature, and try to keep following up on this. Um, but yeah, that's really all that came out this week. I mean, I'm not gonna do Metascore. I'm gonna wait till Justin gets back to do Metascore, and everything of that nature. So I'm not gonna do that. But yeah, as far as the layoffs, y'all, if y'all really think the game industry is like dying, please go look at like Circana numbers and VG charts and everything of that nature. Because man, it's not dying at all, like at all. Um, yeah, gaming isn't dying; it's just going through a stuttering period right now. So, um, if you like, if you like the show, like, review, and subscribe to the show. Share with your friends. I already gave you guys my Twitter handle, but I'll give it to you again. It's I trap for the Hokage. That's the number 4, not the word. And you can reach Justin at Thundernut01 at Twitter. You can also send us questions at theplayerstake01 at gmail.com. And you can also reach us on Twitter at theplayerstake as well. And you can send me questions directly. I'd rather y'all DM me because I can get the notification. If you send me the questions like on the timeline, sometime I can get especially if I'm like on a tirade and I'm like, pissing a whole bunch of people off, I get a lot of mentions. So sometimes I don't I don't see the questions until the last minute, or if I'm scrolling or something like that. Um, Yeah. Hey, I do have one thing to say. I'm sorry before we cut off. I did the whole fucking outro, and I got one more thing to say. Persona 4 Reloaded. I think a lot of people are Persona fans. We got a lot of fake Persona fans, y'all. We got them. We got them, y'all. A lot of them don't like Persona 3. They hate it. They only like Persona 5. We got them, y'all. We got them. Yeah. See you guys later. All right.